Arsenal are taking the Premier League title race to the very last day. Not the best performance by Arsenal, but this is what the best teams do. They don't have to be at their best, but they still get 3 points. So much to get into. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. We are less than 400 subscribers off of 6,000, which is absolutely insane considering we only launched this channel at the beginning of March. So make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button as well as like the video and let me know your thoughts on the game. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. Lots of pressure going into this game. If Arsenal drew or lost, their Premier League title race would have practically been over. We saw some brilliant defensive displays today from Saliba, and I was very impressed with Raya as well. I don't think Raya put a foot wrong. Saliba, when you talk about Rolls Royces, when you talk about elite centre-backs, he genuinely is absolutely incredible. He's so good. It's unreal. And today, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Thought he was very good in the air. I thought he read the ball for the. There was one challenge he made, and I was just sitting there going, like, biased aside, the guy's a joke. I think it was on Garnacho. He was running it in full pace in the penalty area, and he got his foot to it. But in terms of the game, I don't think Arsenal were anywhere near their best, if I'm being honest. Less shots than Man United, less possession than Man United. And this is a Man United team that are fighting for a Europa League position. They are currently 3 points away from Newcastle, 3 points away from Chelsea, and they are 9 points away from Spurs. This is a Man United team that had to win. They had to win today in order to keep their Europa League, I guess you could say, fight continue. I'll be honest, I don't think they're going to beat Newcastle midweek. I'm going to be honest, I think they'll finish round about 8th. They've got 2 tough games, Man United and Brighton. About Arsenal, though, so much pressure. Manchester City absolutely blitzed Fulham yesterday, 4-0. Vardy over brace, Alvarez and Phil Foden. And they looked very confident and comfortable after the 10th minute on Man City. So Arsenal today know they had to win. And in recent times this season, when Arsenal have played second out of the 2 teams going for the title race, they've had a couple of wobbles against West Ham, against Fulham, against Villa, against Newcastle. But today, a true professional performance. I don't think in terms of individual performances, I don't think Saka and Odegaard were at their best. I thought they still contributed. Saka got down down to the byline, put a couple of dangerous crosses into the box. Same as Ben White. In terms of the first half, for me, it was all about Arsenal getting a goal early and trying to settle and calm the nerves. And none other than Leandro Trossard steps up with a massive goal, probably the most important goal of the Premier League season so far. Now, we'll talk about the goal in a second, but Leandro Trossard has been such a great signing since he joined Arsenal around, 2 years ago, a year ago now. He's been brilliant since he came in the January transfer window. I think he's their second highest goal scorer this season. Has not afraid to come in off the bench, not afraid to start games, score big goals. I think he got the goal in the Champions League against Bayern Munich to bring him back into the game. Scored a massive goal tonight. Been very influential in their attacking areas this season. He's not afraid to play on the left, not afraid, to play in the false 9. Has played very well this season. And I just want to say, look, fair play, because that's a good signing to them. Now, the goal, I don't know what Casemiro is doing. You're talking about a 5-time Champions League winner. What an absolute... I don't know what you're doing. Genuinely, I have no idea. That right there is nothing short of a disgrace from Casemiro. If I was a United fan, I would be going absolutely berserk at that. If anyone who hasn't seen the goal, the ball gets played out. Casemiro's jogging. The defensive line are about 30 yards forward. He's jogging. But because Kai Havertz over on the right-hand side is jogging back to keep up with the attacking line, obviously Casemiro's playing him on side, which for me, it is, he's been getting a lot of criticism. Gary Neville said it on commentary. He's been getting a lot of criticism in the recent weeks, but you aren't going to get, you know, much more of an easier player to play against right now. Casemiro in the centre-back position, he's positional, marking's bad, his defensive awareness is bad, his pace. Look, I think it's fair to say, look, just retire. You go down as a great midfielder, a 5-time Champions League winner, but recently you have been absolutely atrocious. Havertz, looks to take on Evans, shifts his weight to his right side, puts a low cross in, and then Leandro Trossard taps it into an empty net. And at that point, you're like, Arsenal are now going to go and hammer him. I thought Arsenal would go and get 3 or 4 goals. I said on Lee Judge's and Dan Potts show the other day that as well as the terrorists in the squad, I think Arsenal could quite easily score 4 goals today. And let's be honest, they probably should have scored a lot more goals than they did, But in terms of Arsenal, the way they managed this game out, the way that Arteta got his substitutions, in my opinion, absolutely bang on. He brought on Martinelli for Trossard at the right time to kind of try to move, the team further up the pitch. I did think he would maybe bring on Jorginho for Thomas Partey. He looked a little bit nervous at times, but overall, I thought it was a very, 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 very good performance from Arsenal in terms of game management. Not necessarily performances, but like I said, you don't have to be at your best in order to win games. When your team's this good, you're playing this good, you don't have to be at your best to get 3 points. And that's what the best teams throughout the Premier League have done. The Jose sides, the Wenger sides, the Klopps, the Peps, the Fergusons, even the Ancelottis and the Contes and the Dalglishs, those sides. When you got an elite side and you are, when you are essentially changing your mindset of trying to go for a Premier League trophy, trying to win a Premier League title, and you've got this good of a team and you're playing this well, you don't have to be at your best. Now, the Premier League title race, for me, Tuesday night, Tottenham versus Manchester City. A massive game now. If Aston Villa lose against Liverpool on Monday night, Tottenham could get Champions League, but we would have to win on Tuesday night against Manchester City. Now, we're not in great form. Arsenal at the moment go down to that last game of the season against Everton at home on Sunday at the Emirates. The last game of the season, 4:00, as well as Manchester City play West Ham. If Manchester City draw or lose to Tottenham, their Premier League season will be over. The goal difference is down to 3. They'd have to score, a lot of goals against the West Ham side that at the moment, aren't playing that great, to be honest. They're pretty much on the beach. They've checked out. The highest position they could probably finish, I think, is 8th. So they're not going to be in Europe next season. For Arsenal, it's about doing your job, concentrating on yourself, beating Everton, and giving yourself the best possible opportunity and the best possible chance of winning the Premier League. For Manchester City, however, you go into Tottenham, a stadium in the Premier League, which you have never scored a goal at, a stadium in the Premier League that you have never won a game at. For Manchester City, it's about getting through this game. They have to get 3 points. For Arsenal, it's about praying with your life that your arch rivals can get 3 points or even a draw against the guy that well, I guess you could say your rivals in the title race. Your arch rivals against your rival in the title race, going head to head. Arsenal are praying for a draw, praying for a Spurs win. Man City have just got to do their job and get through the game. In terms of this outcome, this is the biggest game of the remainder of the title race, because if Manchester City get the 3 points, you expect them to beat West Ham and you expect Arsenal to beat Everton. So it all comes down 8 p.m. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Tottenham versus Manchester City. That will decide the Premier League. Now, Tottenham have got a knack of turning up when we're least expected to. We've got a very, very good return against City. We've already drawn at the Etihad. We scored 3 goals at their stadium. I don't think too many teams have scored 3 goals there. And we had a defense of fullbacks. You know, we aren't in the best of form, but we are a very unpredictable side. You never know which Tottenham team is going to turn up. You know, if we win, Arsenal are pretty much guaranteed Premier League champions. If we draw with City, it opens the door up for Arsenal as well. So there is so much riding on this. Let me know down below. Will Tottenham get a result against Manchester City? Make sure you go down, drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you have subscribed. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. The Premier League title race will be decided Tuesday night, and I cannot wait. See you there. I'm